Hi, I'm Dan the Hypnotist, and I'm going to help you get rid of stress with mind juggling. Stay tuned. Okay, what is mind juggling? I discovered this out on the internet one day. I was doing some research on neurology. And of course, neurology is how your nerves interact with stimuli in your body and everything like that. So I was doing some research and I stumbled across this website and it talked about mind juggling, and it was really cool. So I experimented a little bit with it and I decided I was going to start teaching my clients, and they love it. I've given out hundreds, if not thousands, of these balls, and I've only ever gotten 2 of them back from my clients and said, "Dan, this really wasn't my thing." So my clients love it. I'll see female clients return and they've got their mind juggling ball in their purse, and I'm like, so it's kind of cool. So anyway, what this does is it's a very relaxing, stress relieving exercise, and it's very, very simple. The hardest part is actually making the mind ball, but I'm going to teach you how to do that too. So really, you may have noticed that this ball rattles. You hear that? Yeah. So what I've done is I've inserted some BBs into this ball. I'm going to teach you how to do that. And also, it's just a very soothing sound. This sound kind of goes all the way back to when you were a little baby and your parents were shaking the rattle over you and you were like, ah, like that. So it's just a super soothing sound. And also, just the feel of the ball, you're going to put about 50 grams of BBs into your tennis ball. And the softness of the ball with the extra weight just feels really good in your hands. Hypnotists call this a touch sensation or kinesthetic. And so we all measure the world through our senses. We have visual, olfactory, taste, or even stomach feel, hearing, and then, of course, kinesthetic or touch. So when we tend to store stress and anxiety and sometimes depression, we do it kind of in our visual channel. We measure the world the most with our eyes. And a lot of times when we make associations with what we're taking in, we can associate it through our eyes and feel kind of miserable or whatever, stressed. So we're going to be closing off the visual channel because you'll be doing your mind juggling with your eyes closed. And it's not as hard as you think, so don't worry about it. But anyway, we're going to shut that visual channel off, and then we only have 2 channels left to experience mind juggling. The auditory channel, that soothing sound, and the kinesthetic channel, when we toss the ball back and forth. It just feels good in your hand, almost like, well, not really a puppy or a kid. You don't want to juggle those. But it's a nice little feeling as you get that. So it's really relaxing. It's a great stress reliever. I recommend my clients do it maybe 10, 15 minutes a day as needed. And like I said, some people take it to work or they carry it with them. You can make more than one and keep one in the office and one at home, and just kind of do it. So the next step, of course, is to teach you how to make one of these balls. And I'm going to do that right now. Okay, let's make a mind juggling ball. So here's the ingredients. We have some BBs. I have this huge thing because I make a lot of these, but you can just get a small container of BBs from Walmart or some places like that. Stainless steel BBs. We have a scale. This is an electronic scale, so we can measure out 50 grams of BBs to put into the ball. We've got an ordinary tennis ball right here. Okay. You can get a little funnel and put it in when we cut the X in there, but I don't have a funnel handy. I'm just going to use this tube, and I'll make a little funnel with my fingers. It's kind of a stopgap thing. You will also need 2 little cups. These are just little medicine cups from like the top of cough syrup or something like that. And these are for measuring out the BBs. So if your scale has a tare, T-A-R-E function, you want to use that and cancel out the weight of the cup. But even if you don't, it's not that big a deal. So what I want to do, the reason I have 2 cups is I want to measure some BBs out. So I'm going to measure out some BBs. Okay, so I got my BBs measured out. All right, then I want to put the empty cup on there. I'm going to turn this on. I want to make sure that this is working, which it doesn't appear to be. Okay. So there we go. Okay. So the unit you want is grams. Okay. So let's go for grams. There we go. And we've done the tare function, so now it reads 0 grams with the little cup on there. So all I'm going to do, I like these little cups because they're kind of flexible. So I'm just going to start pouring some in, and I watch the thing. I want to get up to 50 grams of these. So there's 22, there's 36, 40, just a few more, 48, 49, there, 51, close enough for good more. Okay. So now I've got 51 grams BBs. You know what? I forgot one other thing. It's right here, an X-Acto knife. And we're going to cut into the ball with this. Now, these are extremely dangerous. If you're a kid and you want to do some mind juggling, that's great. But make sure and get your parents to handle this very, very sharp knife. And if you're an adult, be super careful. You can cut yourself very badly with this, and you're going to be working around your fingers. Okay, we've got our BBs measured, we've got our knife, so the next step is to go ahead and cut a little X in the ball. So I just look for this U shape right here, and I'm going to brace this. So I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit. I'm going to brace this on a table, and I'm going to brace my other fingers here. And now this is, of course, the most dangerous step. I'm simply going to punch into the ball. Okay, I can feel it go through the rubber layer. So now the knife is cutting through, and so now I'm just going to simply kind of move it. Oops, this is why you need to be careful. And I'm going to kind of move it back and forth. My knife blade is not very sharp. So there. So now I've got kind of a cut this way. Then I'm going to turn it at a right angle, and I'm going to cut it so it makes kind of a cross. So you got to be super, super careful with this. Okay. So now I have an X or a cross cut into it. So what I can do is I can take this tube, and I can kind of, you could do this with the nozzle of a funnel. So I put it into the ball. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make kind of a funnel with my hand, and I'm going to, I don't know if this is on frame, but what I'm going to do is pour the 50 grams of BBs down into there. You'll hear them going down into the ball. So hopefully you can see this. So just have to get them going there. Got a little log jam, ball bearing jam. Okay, and then I'm going to use my hand to just get those last few in there. It's really better if you have a funnel for this. Okay, so all the balls are down in there. So now I'm simply going to pull this out, okay, and then it's sort of self-sealing. It leaves kind of an X there. So you can kind of manipulate it with your fingers and make it a little nicer, but it's almost invisible now. So if you look closely, it's actually pretty hard to see. And now, with those simple steps, being super careful with this thing, we've created a mind juggling ball. So listen, perfect. And it weighs about twice the weight of a normal tennis ball. So it's easy to make, just that one step that you need to be super careful with the blade. Use a fresh blade if you can. It makes it a little bit easier. But a fresh blade is going to jump through this faster, so just exercise extreme caution and go slow so you don't hurt yourself. But once you've got this, you've got a mind juggling ball. If you make a couple more, you can give them to your family members or whatever, and they're really, really good. So now what I'm going to do is demonstrate how to use the mind juggling ball. So stay tuned for that. Okay, it's easy to mind juggle. I'm going to teach you how right now. You can do it sitting or standing. I'm just going to do a standing example for you here. So to get started, you're going to be having your hands at shoulder width apart, kind of like you're holding a tray. You can angle them inwards. And what you're going to do is just with an easy rhythm, you're just going to start tossing the ball back and forth like that. Now, this activates those two channels I talked about, the auditory channel and the kinesthetic channel, the feeling channel. And we're going to be doing it with our eyes closed in a minute, so I'll show you how to do that. But, and the eyes, of course, carry all that anxiety and stress and stuff like that. So this is how it works. So we're going to be tossing it back and forth like this. Now, you can't cross the center line of your body to toss, and you also can't cross the center line of your body to catch. It has to arc back and forth. You can use one of those metronome apps on your phone to create that kind of click, clack sound and kind of keep time with that, but this is just a good little rhythm. So now I'm mind juggling. I'm going to start by watching the ball back and forth. This makes it pretty easy. Then I'm going to look forward, and I can still clearly see the ball down below my eye in my vision. And then now I'm going to look up. I I can't see it at all. And then I'm going to close my eyes. This is the preferred way to mind juggle. So when we're doing this, it feels really, really good. I'm always smiling when I'm teaching this demo to my clients because it's just really enjoyable. Now, the final rule is if you miss and it goes whoosh like that, just pick it up and start over again. It's in the rules. So good. So now I'm feeling really good doing my mind juggling, but I'm pretty good at tossing the ball back and forth at this distance. So if I want to challenge my neurology, I'm actually going to expand the distance that I'm tossing the ball. Now I really have to concentrate on it. It's even hard to talk because I'm just trying to get that ball into the next hand. But this is good because it's keeping me in the moment with the ball, and that is a mindful thing. When I'm in the moment tossing the ball, I'm not thinking about my troubles or anything like that. I'm just trying to get that ball into the next hand. So it feels really good. It's a great stress reliever, and it's really enjoyable to do. So that is mind juggling. It's really, really that easy. All right, there you have it. Mind juggling ball. So try this and see what you think. Be super careful using that knife to make it. And I would love to hear down in the comments below whether this helps. It's helped a lot of my clients with stress and anxiety and things like that. It's really fun to do as well. It's my favorite demo when I do it. So if you liked it, let me know down in the comments. I would also like to ask you if you like these videos to subscribe and maybe even hit that little bell icon so you'll know when I post some new content. I'm trying to do it once a week. Had a little bout of being sick there for a little bit, but I'm back on track now, and I hope you like these videos, and I'm having a lot of fun making them, so I hope we can explore some cool stuff about hypnosis together. Until then, I'm Dan Perez of Hypnosis Works in Houston, Texas, wishing you some fun mind juggling. So give it a try.